Hey, gluten-free friends. Happy Celiac Awareness Month once again. We are so excited that you are here celebrating with us all month long and living your best gluten-free life, or on the way to living your best gluten-free life. If we haven't met, my name is Jennifer Marcks. I am your gluten-free health coach, helping you create a sustainable and delicious gluten-free lifestyle. And friends, today I wanted to come in and chat with you about, why am I here? Why should you listen to me at all? And really the importance of telling your story. So all of us are gluten-free for a reason, right? Some of you have celiac disease. Some of us have gluten intolerance, or we have another autoimmune disease. And we need to follow a gluten-free lifestyle in order to keep our health. And that is so important. It is such an important piece of creating a healthy future, right? Keeping our gluten-free life sustainable and delicious. We all deserve good food. So when you share your story, the people around you, especially your friends and your family, they get you a little bit more. Because I don't know about you, but when I went gluten-free, everybody around me thought that I was crazy. My family thought I made it up. No one could understand why I had to change the way I was eating, what was happening, why I had to ask so many questions if we went anywhere, why I wouldn't eat certain foods anymore. My dad stopped cooking for me, which was awful. But, all these things happened. And at the end of the day, when so many people were pushing me away because I would say I was gluten-free, they're like, oh, yeah, okay. Friends who don't want to hang out with you anymore, or not wanting to go to certain restaurants, and all these different things that were happening. What I realized was that people just didn't get what I needed, right? Are you feeling that? Like they just don't understand what you need in order to live your gluten-free life. And as I was putting my life together, that's when I discovered that my children had celiac disease. But friends, when we share our journey with those around us, and when we share what we're learning with those around us, it brings them in and it helps them help us. Because when things go wrong for you in your life, you're living gluten-free and you've got it down, but you get sick, or God forbid, you're in a car accident, or something big happens. The people around you will know what you need and be able to take care of you. So it's really important to bring them along. So I want you to really think about that, okay? You need support. You can get it right here in our group, and I'm here to support you. You just reach out. I am here for you. But you need the people in your immediate life to get you, to understand you. And in order to do that, you need to share, why are you gluten-free? Why are you doing this? Why is this so important? A lot of you tell me, oh, my partner doesn't want me to do this program, or my partner doesn't want me to spend more money on gluten-free food. They just don't understand the importance of this for your health. Because when you don't follow your gluten-free life when you need to, you are setting yourself up for a dangerous outcome, because you will have other issues happen in your body, okay? Not to scare you, but those are the dangers of gluten-free. You need to be gluten-free, then you need to be gluten-free. You need to get it in order and get your life set so that you can find your health and regain your health and stay healthy by living gluten-free, okay? So that's what I am all about. Because once I knew that gluten was what was really getting me down, knocking me out. I mean, gluten ruined my life, like completely knocked me out. And when I knew it was gluten, I was so happy, because I finally had an answer. Because I went years and years and years of doctors telling me, oh, it's not what you're eating. I'm like, I think I'm eating something and I just can't figure out what it is. They're like, oh, food has nothing to do with how you feel. Okay, reverse, please, rewind. Food has everything to do with how you feel. What you eat is what you're going to get. You're going to get energy, or you're going to be depleted of energy. You're going to get health, or you're going to be depleted by health. And that has so much to do with what's on your plate. And every one of you in this group, gluten has affected your life in one way or another. So you can see that connectivity, right? You can see how that aligns. Now, for me, I had years and years of sinus infections, which meant years and years of antibiotics, which pretty much kill your gut, right? So that was my number one downfall. I had years of canker sores, some that were so bad that I couldn't even talk, or we were talking to people. I wouldn't want to talk because it hurt so bad. I didn't understand why. I could not pinpoint it to any food I was eating or anything that I was doing, but they were debilitating. I had headaches almost every day after I had lunch. Gee, did that connect with what I had for lunch? We weren't really thinking about what I was eating at that time had anything to do with what was going on. And that's what blew my mind when I started realizing, wow, you know what? I feel like this after I eat. I mean, it really hit me one night when I went out to dinner with my husband and his boss and his wife. And I had a blue cheese salad dressing, which had always been my favorite. And 2 bites into the salad, I just felt like my world collapsed out from under me. And I was like, oh my gosh, excuse me, I'm going to leave the table and go to the bathroom. My husband's like, are you all right? You don't look so good. And I ran to the bathroom and got sick and stayed in there because I was like 5 sheets of white and did not know what to do. And the boss's wife came in, Lori, and I was so mortified. She's like, are you okay? You don't look so good. Meantime, they picked us up and drove us to the restaurant. It was a 45-minute drive. I still don't remember how we got home, but that's when it really hit me that what I was eating was really just knocking me out. I had such bloating and gas and staying for hours in the bathroom, and I'd leave and go back to the bathroom. I was afraid to leave my house. Everything I ate was bothering me. And I saw doctor after doctor after doctor, and they told me I was stressed. I said, okay, I know stress does a lot to our bodies, right? Stress can knock us out for sure, but I knew there was more to it. And I kept digging in, and I started keeping a food journal. I'm like, well, okay, when I eat this, I get sick. When I eat this, I get sick. There's something else there, and I don't know what it is. And this was a good 10 years or more. I remember all the way back to high school, laying on the floor, holding my belly in tremendous pain and just being so bloated. I always looked like I had this big, big, big fat belly, and I didn't. I was a small adult, small girl, and I was a small stature growing up. So that's right there, could be related to gluten. So long story short, I finally saw a doctor, a friend of mine. She was a PR director at a hospital, and said, that's it, I'm getting you in with these top doctors. And I saw somebody in Boston, and he said, yes, it's definitely what you're eating. And I almost fell off my chair because someone finally agreed with me. I was like, that's what I've thought for years, but everyone tells me no. So he sent me to a dietitian, and she said, I bet it's gluten. I bet you can't have gluten or dairy. Now, dairy, I kind of knew at that time that when I had dairy, I would get sick. And so I had already been cutting out dairy, but gluten, I'm like, what's gluten? I had no idea what gluten was, which many of you may have felt the same. Now gluten is in our society. It is in characters who are in sitcoms. It comes up in movies. And of course, they depict it in a very poor manner and, put it down instead of celebrating that, all right, we know it's bothering our body. Now we can do something about it, right? And that's the problem, is that it takes so long to figure out that it's gluten that has knocked you down that it takes forever to figure that out for you to start feeling better, right? Because then we have to figure out, okay, what the heck is gluten? And now let's take that out and start to get better and heal our bodies and regain the health we need so we can have a future, right? So in all of this, as I was trying to get my gluten-free life in order, at the time I had 2 children. Now I have 3, but at the time I had 2, and Alex and Freddie were in 1st and 3rd grade. And they had all kinds of just odd and ends of things going on with them. Freddie was very small, but I was always a very small kid, so that was not a big red flag for me at that time. And then he was also behind in his dental development, and that is textbook celiac, to be behind in your dental growth, okay? So my daughter, she was in 3rd grade. I was a 3rd grade teacher. 3rd graders have a lot of energy, because we used to always joke and say, if we could just bottle this up and take it home, we'd be set for life, right? But she would come in after playing for 5 minutes and be like, I'm so tired, mommy. I'm going to lay on the couch. I'm like, no, get up. Let's go back outside. She's like, oh, I just don't want to. She would wear out very quickly. At night, she was very bloated. She always wanted me to snuggle her up because she was just uneasy with things. And the doctor said, she's stressed. She's anxious. I'm like, she's in 3rd grade. She's this happy-go-lucky kid. She's no more anxious than any of her friends. It wasn't like this. Yes, some kids are anxious. She was not that kid. So I knew something was up, but we really didn't know what it was. And then my daughter started to have tics. She'd be talking to you, and then all of a sudden her arms would go flying, and she wouldn't even know she was doing it. Her arms would just go flying out. And it was very scary. We saw a top neurologist. They wanted to put her on all these steroids, all this medication. I was like, no, there's got to be a reason for this. They wanted her to do all these things with medication, steroids, and all these other things. And then she started having vitiligo up and down her leg, the discoloration of the pigment of your skin. And it was a very scary time. And at the time, I was also trying to figure out, hey, what can I eat? What can I not eat? How can I make this work with my family? So we're going through all of this. And as I was reading and researching about celiac disease, it's like, oh my gosh, my kids could have celiac disease. And took it to the pediatrician, and she's like, wow, I'm going to a conference this weekend. And she was just off to this conference. She says, I'll call you when I get back. She called me on her way home, and she said, get them in the office this week. We're testing them. You are right. I bet they have celiac disease. Now, after my children were tested and were off the charts for celiac, Freddie grew 4 inches in 1 year. Now he just turned 20. Ah, my heart. He just turned 20, and he towers over me. He's this really big, healthy guy. My daughter and his teeth are fine. That all caught up. My daughter, her vitiligo stopped in its tracks. Her tics went away. No steroids, my friends. No medication. No heavy doses of this and that they wanted to do to her that we had no idea what the consequences would be for that. Gluten-free. They went away. No more belly aches. She had an abundance of energy. Everything turned around. For me, canker sores, gone. Sinus infections, I haven't had one in years. I'm gluten-free now 13 years. Haven't had a sinus infection in years. Yeah, I still get some sniffles when the seasons change, but not like I used to. Oh my. So different for our family. So when I say we celebrate because we know we have to live gluten-free, we celebrate being gluten-free. This is why. Gluten-free, going gluten-free, learning about gluten gave us our health back. I can't imagine if I didn't put the pieces together to figure out what the heck was wrong with me, and then to see that my children had celiac disease. Now my daughter's just graduated from college. My son's in college, and my youngest guy is 11. He was born into it. And the doctor said, all right, you're all gluten-free, keep it that way. And we'll test him when he's 18 months old. And we tested him, and tested him, meaning giving him gluten every day, which we hadn't had gluten in our house for a while. My husband is not gluten-free, so he would eat gluten here and there, but mostly out of the home. If he had some at home, we had our home set up, so we didn't cross-contaminate, but we didn't have a whole lot of gluten in the house. So I had to get gluten and get some things and feed it to my son. And an 18-year-old happy-go-lucky baby was now a terror. Didn't sleep, was either pooping or constipated, or just a whole different kid. We did this for almost a week, and I called the doctor. I was like, no way, I'm not even doing this anymore. He is a whole different kid. He's miserable. You can see it in his body, in his temper, in his everything. And the doctor's like, no, get him off of gluten. So will we ever actually know that he has celiac? Probably not, because, I guess we could do a different test, the Zoomer test, right? See if he has that. But at the time, it was that you didn't test if you were already gluten-free. Now we know more about that. And there's the Zoomer test that Dr. Tom O'Brien talks about, and you can take that test if you've been gluten-free. So that's one to look at. But overall, like, we are gluten-free because it's changed our health, it's changed our plate, it's changed our lives, okay? And once we had it down as a family, like, we struggled to figure it out because nobody around us knew what we were talking about. No one around us could help me. Like, even the doctors just were like, just go see what you can do. The dietitian told me to go to Whole Foods and get some gluten-free bread and buy quinoa. And I was like, well, what's quinoa? What's gluten? What's quinoa? I had no idea. So I didn't have much help. But as a teacher and a researcher, I kind of dove in and figured it out. We slowly put the pieces together and we had our family down, right? We took all of our recipes and moved them into gluten-free recipes. We cook more at home. We learned how to bake gluten-free. We did it all, but it took time. And that's why I'm here for you, because I did it all. I figured it out, and I'm here to make your path much shorter so that you don't have to search and put the pieces together and do this slow and steady dance of trying to figure it out on your own and being stressed out and overwhelmed, because it is stressful and overwhelming to change your whole entire life to be gluten-free. But when you have the right tools and the strategies and the support that you need, you can do this with so much less stress, my friends, in a very delicious manner. That's the other thing, is everyone's like, oh, gluten-free is gross. Oh, you poor thing. You must be like just deprived all the time. No, we eat a lot at our house. We love food, and we're always eating and celebrating with food. And it's all gluten-free, dairy-free, and corn-free. Okay? Because that's what we need to do. And that's okay. And we celebrate that. And I want you to celebrate your story this whole month. So find a friend, find a family member to tell your story to. Share your story of why you're gluten-free and educate those around you so that your favorite people, you don't have to shout it from the mountains, but your favorite people should understand, why are you gluten-free? What do you need? How are you, how do you cook things? What are your favorite foods? Where do you buy your foods? Like, a lot of those things are important to know. So if something does happen to you, you break your leg and you need some support, they're going to be there to help you, and they'll know what to do. Okay. So it's important to share your story. It's important to help those around you, and it's important to spread awareness. And this is Celiac Awareness Month. So whether you have you're gluten-free because you have celiac, or you're just gluten-free because you have not just, but you are gluten-free because you are gluten intolerant, or you have another autoimmune disease, or you're living gluten-free because you know it's how to have your health. Okay? Share it with those around you and put the steps in place. I am here because I live it every single day. I never lack of what to talk to you about living gluten-free, because we do it all day long. But we have it down now because we've done it for so long, right? And you get new things, you try new things, you get glutened every so often. I'm not going to lie about that. It happens because life happens, right? Other people prepare your foods, or you go out to eat. That can happen. And we have to even embrace that, because you know how to take care of it, right? You get your ginger tea out and you take care of yourself, and you rest and you relax and you recuperate and you're back. But you stay gluten-free because that gives you your health back. That keeps you moving forward in the right direction so that you can have a healthy future, okay? And your children too. Empower your kids. Give them the tools they need. Help them see what they need. My children who are in college already, my two older ones, are doing amazing, okay? So when we have what we need, we can have a gluten-free life that works. And I want that for you. So if you need help with that, reach out, because I am here. I have many programs, and I work one-on-one with people, with clients, and the membership will be coming at the end of the month, the end of our whole Gluten-Free Lifestyle Summit. I'll be opening the doors to our membership again, and that's a monthly subscription where every month you get a new topic for your gluten-free life to put the next piece in order. Okay. It's building your foundation. It's building your life brick by brick in a slow and steady manner. You have it down and you're living. When we try to jam pack everything at once, nothing happens, right? Nothing works. When you take a piece and you put it in place, that you build upon that, you build upon that, you build upon that, you end up with a gluten-free lifestyle that works, that you can celebrate and have your health. Okay, friends? All right. Thanks for listening to my story. I would love to hear your story. If you want to share that with me, go ahead and share in the comments. You can DM me, you can email me if you don't want to share it with everybody, but let us know, why are you gluten-free? Why are you here in the group? What do you want to get out of this month? I want to hear from you so we can best help you. But tune in all month long for our Gluten-Free Lifestyle Summit. We have so many great things coming at you. Watch your calendar, watch what's happening in the group on and off of Facebook, and join in the celebration all month long. All right, friends, until next time, have a delicious gluten-free day and happy Celiac Awareness Month.